Okay, so this is part two in the Money Wound series, and I pretty much just decided to do this series a couple hours ago and start speaking to you in a different way that you could have the experiential experience of what actually something looks like and feels like in your life so that you can see why that's actually affecting the results that you're getting right now. So if you're not charging as much as you want to charge, if you're not attracting the right people, if you keep having bummed out sales conversations where people keep saying I don't have the money, I don't have the money, um, or you're in the space of not making as much money in a month that you know you deserve and that you know that you could be making, there's a money wound in place. And the idea or the concept of these videos is to really help you get a different perspective to what it is that is actually happening with you, so that you can actually start seeing how this mechanism is actually happening within you, how the money wound is actually able to survive. And it survives, like you'll do whatever it takes to survive because it's part of the subconscious, um, part of like the subconscious mind or ego programming that keeps you in the place that you are and doesn't really allow you to move beyond, into the spaces that are super uncomfortable. Luxury can be really uncomfortable, and being in spaces um, that are wealthy, or that where you actually receive more love, more affection, more money, more desire, more of anything than you're able to tolerate at this particular point in time, can get really, really fucking uncomfortable. Um, Let me tell you a story. So, and I'm gonna give you some examples from it because I think that it will really, really help to illustrate the this idea of how this mechanism really operates and how it's staying in your life. And then we're gonna talk about one of the major um, things that it uses to survive in you. And so pretty much, the things that feed it. There are four things that we're talking about in this series that feed this mechanism of this money wound, that allows it to really keep living and to keep living, feeding off of you like a freaking parasite. And so long as you allow those things to stay there, then you're going to keep adding to it rather than creating a different experience. So I I'm in Koh Samui right now in Thailand. I love being in this island. It's pretty much like one of my favorite places in the world so far. I've loved being here. It's amazing. And the first time that I was here was almost 2 years ago in January. And I went to a couple places, and actually not a couple, I did a tour of the entire island. And I went through from the hotel, which is in the town over, and then I went down and I went to like the Four Seasons. I went to the W Hotel. I went to Nikki Beach, which is a big resort, exclusive resort over here. I went to a spa that I call the butterfly spa, but it's not. It's called uh, what's it called? Tamarind Springs Forest Spa or whatever. It's in the middle of the forest, and there are butterflies everywhere, or at least there were when I went that time. This time I went, and there weren't as many as last time, but it was still quite beautiful and serene and gorgeous. And why am I telling you all this? Because I did that on purpose. I actually went to all those places because it was really uncomfortable for me to be in those places of luxury and to feel comfortable. And to be honest with you, it was not comfortable. It was fucking uncomfortable. And even this when I went this time, I went to the the butterfly spa, and I went to W Retreat, which is one of the hotels over here, and the discomfort showed up in different ways. So last time I was just uncomfortable being there or walking in or anything like that. This time, at least in the spa, what I did was that I sought solitude in being in the space. So it was uncomfortable for me to be there with people and to talk to people, because I wanted to just be there by myself, and it was like another representation of like my discomfort that I didn't realize that was happening. And it was a lot more comfortable for me to be in luxury, but to be in luxury by myself so that I didn't have to feel uncomfortable around other people. Before, I would just feel uncomfortable, period, being in any of those spaces, because being in it was automatically like there was like a warning huge sign in my forehead that was like flashing saying like, no, I don't belong here, you know. So why am I telling you all this? These are all representations of the money wound, and they show up in a million different ways for us. And the gorgeousness of money, the beauty of money, that I know that people are not comfortable with the idea of money. They don't like money, in a very subconscious level. They know that they need it and they want more of it, and they want to get clients for like high prices and all this other stuff. But there's a lot of like resentment towards money, and resentment that money even exists to begin with, or that it separates people, or that there's not enough, or like that it's so hard to come by, or like whatever the story is, right? And the point of it being that so long as the idea of money is skewed, there's always going to be a reason that you're using yourself to not have it. And that reason comes in the forms of excuses. Excuses is one of the ways that, one of the things that actually feed the money wound, right? So the excuse that you give yourself that you can't have it now, that it has to take longer, that it has to take time, that it can't happen in an instant. I had a conversation with a potential client the other day. We talked, I did a session with her, and she went and made $5,000 right after talking with me, which was super simple. Like, there was nothing to it. It was just like, oh, well, duh, it's instantaneous. Like, this is the way that it's supposed to work, but yet we believe that it's not possible, right? The idea of, I don't know, all of those ideas that we have, like, or the reasons that we give ourselves for not being able to receive the way that we want to receive, the things specifically that we want to receive, and why we make excuses to why we don't have it and why we can't have it, or why it's easier for this person and not for us, and all of that stuff. It feeds the problem. It feeds the wound. The thing that you need to realize is that excuses cannot be anywhere in the conversation of money. If you're to create a completely different experience and not pass down to the next generation, your kids, the ideas that you're living by now, that it has to be hard, that you have to work a lot, that it takes a lot of people to have conversations with before one says yes, right? That you're okay having people that come to you and that feed you some bullshit story that they don't have the money, and you accept it. You accept their victim. And why? Because you're accepting your own. If you're accepting and believing your own excuses, you will accept theirs. You will. Excuses cannot be anywhere in the conversation. If they are in any way, then you will be feeding your money wound. And that's the reason why things start still being hard. They're still difficult. You still don't understand what's happening. I had a conversation with someone that was saying, wow, like, I can do this, and this, which was all related to working really hard. And I still can't figure this shit out. Like, I'm still, like, there's still a gap there. There's still a gap there. There can't be any level of excuse coming from you if you are to receive the people that don't have any excuses. So how does that happen? You start by really understanding that you need to really know where this is coming from. You need to really see it in every respect and from all the different ways that it's actually showing up. Because the moment that you actually understand that, and then that you have an experiential experience that's coming from a different space, you're having a different experience, like the experience that I taught myself, I gave myself completely different experiences by going to spaces that were beyond what I thought was possible. All around this island, all around it. It completely transformed my business. Completely transformed my business. And I did it very consciously in a very specific way that I want to teach you. So here's what I'm proposing. First of all, I want you to watch all of these videos because I think they're kick-ass. And of course, you'll have an opportunity to use this and to make your decision at any point. And I'll tell you, along with this video, there's going to be some text that will give you a little bit more as to how to find out more. But what I want you to understand is that there's a wound. And there's two ways to deal with a wound. One is a conscious belief, like pretty much the understanding. Like, how do you understand what's happening? Do you even understand what's happening? Do you know why you keep having the same results? Do you know why it's so hard for you to allow the right people to come in? Do you even understand money? Do you know why money is such a powerful, strong force that can help you heal not only, your business or that aspect of yourself, but every area of your life? Do you know why it works so powerfully? Do you know how to use it? Do you understand it? Do you have a good relationship with it? How do you do that? How do you start using it in a way that will actually allow things to completely transform for you? That's what I'm going to be doing in my 4-week intensive program. We're going to be covering all of this. And by the end of it, your concept of excuses will be completely gone. Because you will truly, truly understand, not just from a head perspective, but from a soul perspective, from an experiential perspective, but you are actually taking very specific actions that will completely derail the excuses that you're giving yourself, which means that you will finally be in integrity. Finally. See, if you allow yourself to give yourself excuses, that means that you're actually feeding your own victim. You're feeding your own victim. And your victim cannot sell. Your victim cannot sell. It cannot sell to the right people. It cannot mentor the right people. It won't feel good. Like, you're still going to feel like it's off. Like that the people that you're attracting and the people that are even willing to pay you are not the right people for you. If you're allowing excuses to come from these people in any respect, game over. They already won't be the right people for you the second that you allow an excuse to come from them. And that's not coming from a place of like being totally like hard ass and like not caring about them. It's from a place of pure love. You cannot love and care about your people if you're allowing them to give you excuses. And there's a very, very specific way of you not to allow them to go into that space for themselves and to bring them out of it and into actually being a completely different person. Like really being a completely different person that transforms everything else. Like who they're being will completely shift. That's because you will be completely shifted. All right, so I'm not going to go on for a very long time with this. That is pretty much part of what this program is about. There's so much more. It's going to be 4 weeks intensive. I've done something similar. The last time that I did something like this was a year ago. I don't do group programs very often. I'm doing this right now because it is needed. I keep hearing this from my clients, that they keep hearing this from their potential clients, and it's time to shift this paradigm. You are capable of everything and so much fucking more. But if you're feeding your money wound, the money wound is getting bigger. Every second that you're allowing an excuse to roam inside of you and to be there in your world, it's a second that it's going to take that much more for you to actually convert that into something that you can actually use, and then to invite your people to see their own possibilities and their own potential completely differently. These 4 weeks are geared to do that, to completely transform the excuses within you so that then you do not attract that at all within your clients. And I'm so excited for this. We're actually starting on the 19th. And it's going to go on for 4 weeks, which means that one, you're going to finish the year in fucking style. And you're going to start the year. January is one of the best months for business. There will be no limitations to what you can create. Last January, I hit an all-time high of $40,000 in that month, which was fucking amazing. People are ready. You have to be ready. You have to be ready to do whatever it takes. And this is the perfect time for you to do this. So that's my invitation. I'm going to leave some information along with this video for you to figure out how to sign up. I'm going to be including so much with this program. If you like, even additional to the 4 weeks that we're going to be doing together, in which we're going to be meeting twice a week. Once a week, we're going to be focusing on the understanding of how this processing works, and then the second one is going to be experiential exercises so that you can shift it at a genetic level. It's going to be like transforming the DNA in the way that you like actually feel and experience things, so that then you can go out and create something completely different, and it will feel like totally okay. Right now, it's fucking uncomfortable. You're gonna feel comfortable being uncomfortable after I'm done with you. And that means that anything that right now you avoid at a subconscious level because it causes you stress and pain, and money does that. Money does that unconsciously. There's a lot of, there's a big money wound that's actually causing that. That's going to be gone. That's gonna be gone. So that's what we're doing. Go and check that out. And I really hope that I was able to share with you in this video the way that I needed to share for you to be able to receive this. And that you actually understand. If you don't understand, I invite you to really listen to this again. Listen to this again, because you need to hear this. These, like, so long as you're feeding your money wound, it's going to be practically impossible for you to actually shift out of this. And honestly, this is going to be the best way for you to get there. I don't do group programs. My minimum program, like the lowest program that I have, is a $10,000 program. I'm doing this at like tiny fraction, and I'm going to be very involved because it's in beta, in the beta testing at this point. So I'm going to be working very, very closely to ensure that you guys are getting the best results with the information and the experiences that I'm crafting for you. Really fun experiences, totally out of your comfort zone, but fun, so that you can actually create something completely different in your life. This is not gonna come like soon, anytime soon. This is alone, and by the time that I actually launch the actual program, it's going to be like 2 or 3 times the price. I haven't yet decided what I'm gonna do with it. But last time that I did a group program, it was a $5,000 program for just a weekend. So you can only imagine, I don't do something like this very often. And if you wanted to work with me, this is going to be the best opportunity that you're going to have for it. At a tiny fraction of the price. And I can send you all that information. You just have to private message me and let me know that you want to find out more. Okay, so I will talk to you guys soon. Sending you a lot of love.